This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the Foster. We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter. Yeah, I want. Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it. It's showtime.
Peter G Show. Peter G Show. Divorced dad, single dad. Divorced dad, single dad. Peter G Show.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's showtime. Oh yeah. Hey, we're the monkeys. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. God willing. And guess what? We're willing. Tonight, right here. Glad you can make it. For those tuning in, for those who may be watching later, so long as you're watching. We've got a great show tonight. I'll tell you about that in a second. This week, I guess, for some people, school starting back, I guess, in another week and a half or whatever it's going to be. Labor Day, bye-bye summer. At least my daughter started back to school, and I know a lot of kids have started back to school, but I'm out of school. School's out forever for me. Although I'm in the school of learning, life, which kicks my ass every day. But I digress. Well, thank everybody for tuning in. I said a few seconds ago that we got a great show tonight, and I wasn't kidding. Tonight, I got her back. The return of Defender of the Republic, right here, going to be with us live. She was on a couple of years ago. I'm going to tell you a little story about that in a few minutes. I'm sure she's going to love this. But yeah, she's going to be on, and we're going to talk about what's going on in our world, our country right now, and you know our perception, our views, and the why, and I don't get it, and what the hell is wrong with you, and well, this is the way I see it, and make up your own mind, but here, let me present you with a little information, and then you can take it and do what you want with it. But either way, we're here to enlighten people, good or bad. Just pay attention. I judge nobody. I do not dislike anybody. This is America, land of the free, so far, kinda. And you're entitled to do what you want. If you want to go jump off a cliff, it will sadden me, but I will respect that. But I hope you don't. So pay attention tonight. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I hope you all watched last week when I had Paul Delorias on the show from the island of Maui, and on the 1-year anniversary of the Maui fires. I caught a lot of hell from that. TikTok already started taking down some of those short clips and everything. They just won't let you speak your opinion and assessment of things in life. They're just, so's YouTube, all of them. But right now, so far, it's only been TikTok. They just take it down. Misinformation. Everything's misinformation. Why don't they let you, the people, decide whether it's misinformation? We'll talk about that stuff tonight too. But anyway, I hope you watch that show, because those Maui shows, I don't know what it is, why I'm so drawn to that fire. And it's my 6th show on Maui, about Maui, and it's important to me, because if you understand what's going on over there, you start understanding what's going on in a lot of places. And I don't want to be that guy. I'm not the rabbit hole guy, but I am the common sense guy. I kind of, walk the line, and I never stop looking around now. Vigilant, I guess. Just want to stay safe as possible. Anyway, but I hope you enjoyed that show. Go check it out if you didn't. It's on demand anytime you want. Speaking of on demand, you can watch the Peter G Show anytime you want. Just go to the YouTube, subscribe to YouTube, please. I'm fighting the fight over there. I want to stay relevant on YouTube. I really do, because I'm trying to reach the people who are sitting on the fence. I don't want to get banned from there, but I need your help because they throttle me back. They really make it hard for me to exist there. And how can you love me or hate me if you don't know that I'm around? So just hit the subscribe button, please. It's free. It's free. And then you can watch any shows you want whenever. It'll notify you when we do our shows. And for those of you who do watch, I love you for it. You know how much I am about dedication. But I do realize people are busy. And if you're driving, commuting to work, exercising, put an earbud in your ear, Google Peter G Show podcast. You can listen to the show on audio on demand. You can listen to over 400 shows. So it's the next best thing to being there. I love when you watch the video because a lot of times I do some visual things. Tonight's going to be very visual, not for me, but I mean, but worth the watch. But the next best thing to being there, take the audio. I'm telling you, it still has a good purpose. Entertainment with a purpose. It's awesome. And I want you to be awesome by listening and going, you know what, Peter? Not bad for me. That's that. Here's what we're doing. Do I have anything else? No, because I want to get Defender of the Republic on the show. Can't wait. Lots to talk about. But what we're going to do is I want to hear from my good friends over at Clean Start Products with their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver, and then I'll be right back. And I got a little story to tell before I bring her on, but it's a great story. I think it is, and we'll be right back. But check this out, all right? I'll be right back.
Let us help you with the high price of fuel. Hello, I'm Ty Thompson at CleanStarProducts.com. We can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Here's how. Our program works the same with gasoline and diesel engines. Whether you're using a car pack or SUV pack, the instructions are the same. Add 1 bottle to your engine oil, and each time you change your oil, add 1 bottle to the fuel tank each and every fuel fill-up. It's that easy. You get 10% fuel economy on average, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. DX1 sells for $2 an ounce, so for just a few dollars a fuel tank, you can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Come on, give it a try. It's the finest green-grade oil in the world from a California environmental company. You're going to feel it when you drive. Order online today. We'll get it out right away. CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right, folks. Clean Start Products with their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver. I got 2 words to say. It works. Plus, it makes a peace sign. Peace. It works. I use the stuff. I got to tell you, I'm one of those guys. It's like, I'm a skeptic on a lot of things, but trying is believing, and I have a higher mileage vehicle, and it definitely proved its point on that. It cleans out everything. It makes it run better. I have a heavy F-150 pickup because my daughter's a horse girl. And even she noticed the difference after about 3 or 4 tanks, that it was just didn't have to step on the gas pedal as hard to get it to move. And it was saving. I could tell that I was getting better gas mileage even in the city. So it made a noticeable difference. But again, here's what I want you to do. You probably have questions. Go to www.cleanstarproducts.com. There's a phone number on the website. Ty Thompson wants you to call him personally. He will answer your questions. He loves what he does. He's a true believer, and you gotta give it to people who have dreams and create things and make it work. And he will answer all your questions. And at that time, if you think that you want to give it a shot, here's the kicker: tell him you saw it on the Peter G Show. Because if you do that, he's going to send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. That's right, you guessed it. 5 bottles for the price of 4. Do the math. But you have to say you saw it on the Peter G Show, and you have to make the phone call and order it directly from them. But that's a deal, and a deal's a deal. It'll make a believer out of you, all right? They have a product that works, and they know what I do, and they still sponsor me. So God bless them, That's all I can tell you. All right. Oh, real quick, next week, I always forget. Next week, I'm shifting gears. You know how I am about psychics and things like that. I believe that there are people that have intuitive, I believe in psychics. Not all of them, a very small few, but I like bringing them on once in a while just to call it entertainment, call it directional guidance, or something. But next week, I am going to bring celebrity psychic Miss Tony Green on the show. She's kind of trippy. I've had Amy Bileski on the show. I'm going to have her back too because she really trips me out. But Tony Green is she's roundabout, and I'm going to pick her brain about. I see a lot of people, they just want to know about their love life and this and that. But we're going to talk about life in general, and who knows where we're going to go with it. But I like her because she's fun, but she's also intuitive. And like I said, I've talked to her many times. Every once in a while, I get some really good stuff out of her that really has a lot of meaning. So I want to bring her on the show because I enjoy her company, and I think you will too. So next week, August 28th, celebrity psychic Tony Green's going to be on the show. And just to take a little breather. But then again, we're probably going to talk about current events as well, too, because I know she's involved in all that stuff, too. Call me crazy. But anyway, we're going to have some fun. All right, time out. Let's take a drink. Woo! Smooth. All right, so come closer. I want to talk to you guys. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a little story about what's happening tonight. Defender of the Republic, about 2 years ago. Actually more than 2 years ago, because she was on the show. This October will be 2 years that she first appeared on my show. But I happened to be strolling around the internet looking for things, and I forgot all our comment people and stuff like that. Sorry, Billy Keith. Hey, Watt Life. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm sure they're Defender of the Public fans. Who wants to pay attention to this when you could have that? Anyway, where was I? So I'm all over the internet. I'm always scouring the internet, looking at things, looking for things, for videos, topics, people, and I came across this young woman. And immediately when I saw her, I just zoned in on her, and I was watching her. And I saw this video, and after I saw the video, I was like, wow. I want her. I got to have her. I just, you get that warm, fuzzy feeling. And I said, I'm going to find this woman. I got to have her. I want this woman to be a guest on my show. And I couldn't sleep because I liked, I just, when I saw her, I go, wow, she can speak well. I like the tone of her voice. She's pretty. She's smart. And I just kept watching her. And through the days, I'd find more videos and I'd see her popping up. And then I finally said, I got to have this woman. I got to get a hold of her. I said, I want this woman to be a guest on my show. So I tried. God knows I tried. I sent message. I didn't know how to get a hold of her. I sent message on Instagram. Hey, hi, my name is Peter. Hi, hey, day after day, week after week, month after month, hoping to get her attention. Hey, over here. Hi. Because, she's desirable. I couldn't do it. I just kept on going. And then one day, she answered me. I mean, the hair stood up on my arm. She answered me because she noticed me. She noticed me. And then I said, hi. My name is Peter, and I really like you a lot. I want you to be a guest on my show. And I didn't hear nothing for a while. And then she said, yeah. And then all of a sudden, I couldn't find her anymore. So I kept on. I go, I don't want her to think I'm a freak. I'm stalking her or nothing. But when you get that feeling, when you have that connection, when you say, we're going to make beautiful content together. I got to have this woman to be a guest on my show. Then finally she answered me again, and she said, sorry, everything gets buried. And I go, okay. We finally connected. And then I said to her, I said, listen, I've admired you from afar for ages now. She says, I know, you're very persistent. I said, thank you. Thank you. But I know that if I wasn't, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. And I really, really want you to be a guest on my show. And there was a pause. She said, I'd love to be a guest on your show, but I have to tell you something. And I hope I have to tell you something. I go, you can tell me anything. I want you to trust me. I know you don't know me. I felt like I knew her because I've been watching her for all this time. But on her, version, she just fell into me by accident. I said, you can tell me anything. And she says, I got to tell you, I've never done anything like this before. It'd be my first time. And I said, don't worry. Don't worry. I want you to trust me. I said, I will help you through all this. It'll be wonderful. It'll be wonderful. And I just lay your trust in me and I'll guide you through it. And it'll be awesome. I really want you to be comfortable being a guest on my show. And she said, okay. And that time came and we did a show back in October of 2022. And it was wonderful. I mean, it was like when we did the show, there was like fireworks going up in the air in my mind. It was like, boom. And after it was over, we talked after the show and I said, how was it for you? Yeah. And she said, it was good. It went a lot better than I thought it would go. I go, see, I tell you it all work out. And I said, I really hope I really hope that we can do this again sometime. And she said, I'd love to do it again sometime. Be a guest on my show. And that's how it all started. And now I could say that we've done it and we're here to do it again tonight, right now. So without further ado, that's my story. I always like a good story. I don't have many like this one. But after I find out what color shades of red she is right now, I'm gonna Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, thank you for putting up with my BS. It took me all day thinking this one up. I just when I told her, I said, don't worry, when you come on the show, I'll be gentle. It'll be easy. And everything worked out great. And we are friends to this day, and I love her to death. Ladies and gentlemen, from the East Coast, waiting up for me to put her on, having to listen to my bullshit, but I love her. And Defender of the Republic, which I have my own little name, and she is my Defender girl, Miss. Hi, Kathy.
Thank you for bursting my podcast cherry. I'm happy to be here again.
Do you realize that you always remember your first?
I will always remember my first.
Wow.
I hope I didn't disappoint Peter.
No, are you kidding? We're doing it again. Come on.
My cheeks hurt from laughing.
Do they?
Not normally what you'd want to hear, but
no, yeah, I know. Well, practice makes perfect. But that was I don't know why, but that whole thought popped up in my head, and I said, I don't know if she's gonna love me or hate me after I tell the story, but
no, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. So anyway, listen, I want to thank you again for. I know we've always talked on and off, and it's like sure whenever you want, but time just flies.
It really does.
And yeah, did you switch cameras? You're looking off to your left a little.
No, why? Because I'm looking at you because you're over there. I'm gonna.
Oh, okay. Here's what we'll do. I'm gonna put you. Nobody wants to see me. Let's go right here. There you go. I know it's weird. So the thing was, we said, hey, sure, whenever you want, and then life goes on. And I'm like very bad about. Oh, look, a squirrel. But I knew we were getting closer to the elections and things like that, and I knew it's inevitable that we will touch again, and here we are. So thank you. Here's what I want to do. I want to play that the original video. I want to tell the story, and then I'll let you introduce yourself. But when I found you 2 years ago, I found you off of a video that I thought was fabulous. Fabulous. And hey, all right.
Hey.
Yeah, there you go. So I thought, this girl, I loved what you were doing. I mean, that's how we're here. That's because I saw this one video. Well, I told you this, but for the sake of my audience, over the past 3 weeks, I follow Facebook very heavily. I know you don't follow it very much, but I do because I have a huge following on Facebook. And your video that came up from 2 years ago is killing it on Facebook. All my people are passing it around, and it's a YouTube video, and it says she nailed it.
Yeah.
And you did. And I mean, over 11 million views, right?
Yeah, if only I were the one to have posted that. It's my video. Someone posted it on YouTube and it went absolutely viral. And it's incredible the amount of people that all of a sudden started reaching out to me over the last 3 weeks, month to 3 weeks, saying like, oh my God, I saw this video of you. And I'm like, what video?
I saw it again, and I started seeing my people, my subscribers and stuff, pulling it up and going, she's awesome. And I'm going, I know that girl. I go, she was on my show. And I go, and she's going to, and then I thought about it, and she's going to be on my show again.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started. And again, that's where it all began. So what I want to do is I quickly want to bring that video on, let this video as a reintroduction, and then I'll let you reintroduce yourself. But this is how it all began. So just sit tight and let's just recheck you out. I know you've seen it a million times, but the Rolling Stones have to play, Satisfaction, all the time also, because it's the hit. Play the hits. Here we go.
I never dreamed that I would have to face the prospect of not living in the United States of America, at least not the one I've known all my life. I've never wished to live anywhere else. This is my home, and I was privileged to be born here. But today I woke up, and as I had my morning coffee, I realized that everything is about to change. No matter how I vote, no matter what, I say something evil has invaded our nation, and our lives are never going to be the same. I've been confused by the hostility of family and friends. I look at people I've known all my life, so hate-filled that they agree with opinions they would never express as their own. I think I may have, entered the twilight zone. We become a nation that has lost its collective mind. You can't justify this insanity. If a guy pretends to be a woman, you're required to pretend with him. Somehow, it's un-American for the census to count how many Americans are in America. Russians influencing our elections are bad, but illegals voting in our elections are good. It was cool for Joe Biden to blackmail the president of Ukraine, but it's an impeachable offense if Donald Trump inquires about it. 20 is too young to drink a beer, but 18 is old enough to vote. People who have never owned slaves should pay slavery reparations to people who have never been slaves. People who have never been to college should pay the debts of college students who took out huge loans for their degrees. Immigrants with tuberculosis and polio are welcome, but you'd better be able to prove your dog is vaccinated. Irish doctors and German engineers who want to immigrate to the U.S. must go through a rigorous vetting process, but any illiterate gangbangers who jump the southern fence are welcome. $5 billion for border security is too expensive, but $1.5 trillion for free healthcare is not. If you cheat to get into college, you go to prison, but if you cheat to get into the country, you go to college for free. People who say there is no such thing as gender are demanding a female president. We see other countries going socialist and collapsing, but it seems like a great plan to us. Some people are held responsible for things that happened before they were born, and other people are not held responsible for what they're doing right now. Criminals are caught and released to hurt more people, but stopping them is bad because it's a violation of their rights. And pointing out all this hypocrisy somehow makes us racist. Nothing makes sense anymore. No values, no morals, and no civility. People are dying of a Chinese virus, but it's racist to refer to it as Chinese even though it began in China. We're clearly living in an upside-down world where right is wrong and wrong is right, where moral is immoral and immoral is moral, where good is evil and evil is good, where killing murderers is wrong but killing unborn babies is A-okay. Wake up, America. The great unsinkable ship, Titanic America, has hit an iceberg, is taking on water, and is sinking fast. Speak up.
Speak up.
It's crazy to think that that video was filmed 3 years ago and it's still, and probably even more so, relevant today.
It's very relevant, and that's to me how it all began. That's when I first saw you, and that's why we're here 2 years again later and still going. and it blows my mind how things can change your life. And when I saw it, and I go, over 11 million views. That's not chump change. You know, I'm not thinking about chump change, but that's quite a mark. You
Yeah.
know,
And
All right.
half of those have been gained over the last month.
That's what I'm saying. And you know, who knew? Just a lot of people, like, you know, they do this kind of stuff. They don't realize how tough it is. And you go, oh, this isn't working. And then at that very last second, life can change. Not that it's going to make or break you, but it's pretty impressive. But here's what I want you to do now that I've kind of reintroduced you. I want you to introduce yourself, give a little synopsis of who you are, what you're doing, and why you're doing what you're doing, because and then we'll go about the growth and what's been happening with you.
Yeah, I mean, the way this all started for me was during, the 2020 election cycle, the summer of love, all of these crazy things were happening. I was a Democrat Obama supporter for a very long time. I did not vote for Trump in the 2016 election. I didn't know any better. I wanted a female president. That's all I cared about, right? That's the problem, is that once I gave Donald Trump a chance and saw what he was doing, I was like, wow, this guy's doing great things. And when my friends asked me back in during the 2020 election cycle, who are you voting for? Because now people wanted to have that conversation. The moment I said Trump, they decided, we can't be friends with you. You're racist. But they couldn't explain why. They couldn't explain why they didn't like Trump and, anything about policies or why they liked Joe Biden. They just couldn't explain these things. And so losing my friends was very traumatic for me. I was just had my second child. So, it was a really tough period of my life. And I really felt like I had no one to talk to. So I started learning all of these things. And every time I learned something new, or I wanted to, plead to the world, I would grab my phone and just record a video and put it out into the internet. And, over time, it actually started to get people to listen. And they were saying, you're absolutely right about what you're saying. You're saying everything I'm thinking. So I just kept doing that. And this Defender of the Republic thing came to be. And I was hoping that my friends that no longer wanted to talk to me and didn't know anything about politics were listening. And then now all of a sudden 11 million people are.
Awesome. Totally awesome. Well, but besides that, as I got to watch you, I started going in deeper. Again, I saw that you were well-versed. I saw that you didn't just come on and just start running your mouth unknowingly. You looked into things, and you put some time and effort into things. And so that's how you ended up here, because I need somebody better than me, because I'm like the lukewarm water between the fire and the ice. So that's how it all started. But I too was a Democrat. I mean, I grew up on the East Coast until I was 15, from Connecticut, and my parents were, so you become what you learn or are taught to be until you can make up your own mind. And, either you stay where you're at or things change, and things changed, and I don't believe we're living in, that's what I have this big problem with. I don't believe the Democrats are the Democrats of my grandparents anymore.
They're not. They're absolutely not.
So why would I stay on a ship that, like, I can, I don't mind crazy, because God knows I've dated enough of them. But, the thing is, you got to learn when you're getting ready to crash and burn. But I would never stay on something just for the sake of staying on something. It's just like being, it doesn't work. But you lose people. And you've really gone your way, because I do all kinds of shows, but you're full-time doing this, correct?
No, I mean, I have a full-time job. I'm a full-time mom, but yes, I am doing this in every free second that I have.
But I mean, yeah, you're what can we call you? You're an advocate?
I don't know what the title would be, really, to be honest. I mean, I put influencer on Twitter, and I'm not like one of these GNC people that got free flights and free lodging and food, right, and all of these things, right. But it's really, to me, I mean, what I do is just because of my passion for what's happening in the world, because I think this is our last shot. If we don't get this right, we're in trouble, and our children are not going to have a good future. So that's my why.
I said that the last time I was afraid. I said, if this doesn't work out well, we're going down in flames. And now here we are. And now I'm saying, now I thought we were going to be down in flames, but I don't think there's too much further to go. It's that.
we have an open border. I don't think people really understand how severe that situation is. I mean, there are children that come across the border every day with people that aren't their parents, and they disappear. The last number that has been put out on social media is 80, I think it's 80,000 children that they've lost. That's
More
not
than
the
that.
number. It's
Yeah.
more than double that now. That
Oh, yeah.
number has been floated around for at least
Over a year ago. Yeah, absolutely. I did. But that's the thing. And it's like the cartels are going to be running this country. I mean, if they're not already, you know, they're in every state now, and they're solid. They're making more money than our government. I mean, you know, without having, you know, that's that bad. But you're doing what you believe in, you know, from your heart, because it's that big of a deal. But I mean, you're working, you're a mother, and you spend a lot of time doing this. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
more power to you. It's hard, and losing people who don't understand, they're telling you that you know, hit the road.
Well, part of this too is that I've learned how to have these discussions better. I think there's like a transition period. Once you realize all of the evils and things that have been happening that you didn't recognize at one time, once you start to see that for the first time, you become very angry. So I think in the beginning, you know, I was so angry that I didn't communicate it well. And over time, I learned, you know, how to do that better. So I'm a salesperson by trade. This is what I do during the day. So I've kind of taken that tactic into having discussions with people about how they feel about things, because when they're confused, they want to have the discussion, but they don't know how. So I ask them questions. I use what's called the Seacrch method, and that's worked really, really well. So I've done podcasts where I explain to people how to have these discussions without losing friends.
All right. Well, you're better than me, because every time, you know, I try that, they just say I'm an effing idiot, and they don't answer me. You know, I can never
That
have.
person's not ready to talk.
I could never have anybody to try to help me to understand, and that really bothers me a lot. But hey, let's real quick put up a little somebody. Ruben Mendez, hello, Defender of the Republic. Great to see you watching from North Carolina. Another fan. There you go.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. You popular.
I'll actually be in North Carolina in October for the Reawaken tour. So
all right. So that's what I'm saying. You're involved. Okay. So let's go from here. So when I first saw you, you were making videos and things like that, but now I see you going to events, you know, and like across states. You know, you're not just going down to the town, the next town over. You're going in different states and doing things and being, you know, you're throwing yourself into the arena.
yeah, there's a few reasons for that. I mean, at first, you know, I'm a very inquisitive person by nature. So to me, you know, a lot of my content comes from having discussions with people around me, people at work, my friends. And when I start talking about something and I recognize, oh, they don't know what this means, I put a video out, right? I put a video out explaining it to people. So I started to look at events where I could go learn from other people so that I would understand more. And I think my first event was a Reawaken tour in Nashville. And then I got to meet all of these great, intelligent people who love their country. And I made so many friends there. And, you know, from there, I was like, okay, I need to go to more of these. I need to talk to more people. I need to learn more. And the amount of information I've understood better by talking to people and having a conversation in person is just, you know, you can't measure that. It's totally worth getting out there and meeting with people.
I hear you, but if you talk to some of these people, it's like you're going to a cult meeting.
Yeah, you know, and that's the problem. It's like that's what the media narrative, right? There's a very thin line, by the way, between conspiracy theory and reality, and I think the media takes full advantage of that. The what we're seeing today with the name calling and all of these things is not how America would be if it weren't for these narratives that they're pushing. People don't want to call each other names. That's not like how people operate. When you meet someone, your initial reaction is to make friends with this person. And I think that people need to recognize that in themselves more often when the politics conversation comes up.
I get it. Watt Life is checking in, greeting beautiful people. Greetings. Again, you got a fan club, and I'm glad they're all checking in and
I
saying,
hope they're
"Hey."
all subscribed to you, by the way.
Well, listen. I mean, I know they're probably you have your followers. There's a no one Semper Fi,
I love it.
Kitey. Yeah, there you go. But everything happens for a reason. We've had this conversation before, and I need the subscribers because again, YouTube beats me down. They have banned me. They take off videos from me, but I try to walk the line to stay on YouTube to reach the people that are sitting on the fence. We talked about this just before the show started. I'm on Rumble, but everybody on Rumble.
They follow you on Rumble in case YouTube does take you down.
Well, I am on Rumble too, but the thing is, we're all in agreement on Rumble. We all understand. I want the people.
I don't know. I gotta tell you, I think that as time progresses, platforms like Rumble and Twitter and Truth Social are going to take over because people are the way they call us an echo chamber. Those places are going to become echo chambers, especially the more they censor other voices. People are tired of, having to hear one side of a story.
Oh, no, I get it. But I also understand that. Look, I had a girl that was on my show last year she was a recovering alcoholic of 30. She was an alcoholic of 35 years. Yeah. Beautiful girl, but she was an alcoholic and she was dry for 1 year. And that was her 1 year anniversary. She agreed to come on my show and talk about it. After the show was over, somehow we started talking about thank you and all that, and Trump came into the play probably because of me, Well, actually, it was because of me. And she's in Arizona, and she says, "What's he doing nowadays?" And I'm going, "What do you mean?" And she says, "I said he's running." She goes, "He's going to run for president." I mean, this is well into like if you didn't know, you're living under a rock. But there's a lot of people living like this, and maybe they're happier that way, but we're in trouble. I don't want to be.
I wish I wasn't affected by the political climate, but that's just not reality. The reality is my bank account has less money in it. I feel less safe. I'm dealing with school issues all the time. I see people dealing with what teachers are, trying to groom their children. All of these weird books in the libraries. I mean, there's just so many things that are happening that can affect anyone at any level that you've got to say, okay, why is this happening? And that's where it's like, what are you putting into your life that you are so privileged that you don't have to deal with it? Because I want to do that.
I see these people that say, I don't watch the news. I don't do this. So in a way, it's freedom for your mind. But at the same time, I'm going, but what happens in the end game result from you being unaware of everything? So because you're still participating in this world and it's going to affect you one way or another, whether you sooner or later. So I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing to be oblivious to everything.
Yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I'm a humanitarian, right? I care about people. I care about things that happen to other people. Even if it's not happening to me, if it's happening to someone else, it's a problem. Right. And you would think because this is the platform that Democrats say they are with, right? They say we're humanitarians. We care about people. Okay, if you care about people, then you can't be oblivious to everything. You just can't. And I even hate saying Democrats, Republicans, because it's just.
I know. I mean, I really don't like. I never would have thought, but to me, the Republican side is. I hate using those words too, but I really think that the Republican side has become more democratic than the Democrats, and the Democrats are off the friggin' rails. AOC and that whole friggin' whack pack is just. I mean, but yet every day I got to look at Facebook and have somebody saying that we are in the best shape we have ever been. Now it makes you want to cringe, but they are so dead solid on their beliefs. You can't change their mind, and they're looking at you and I and many other people going, you guys are so screwed. Well, I mean, there's no reaching them.
Well, and that's the common sense thing that you mentioned common sense earlier. And I was like,
what?
It's common sense is so lacking today. I think one of the things I posted earlier was about Kamala Harris, right? So Kamala Harris, you've seen over the last 3.5 years where she's like, this is the greatest economy ever. Joe Biden's economy is wonderful, but now that she's running for president, she's like, I'm gonna fix the economy. What do you mean? You're gonna fix this greatest economy ever?
Yeah, this is it is got this is the thing. But I just feel like there's so many people backing the party for the sake of backing the party because of the orange man, the bad orange man, the felon, which makes no sense to me whatsoever, but they're dead serious. And it's like trying to get them to at least there's no change, just like they're going, well, you're the screwed one because you don't understand. And it's like, no, you don't understand. I mean, I don't know. We're going to talk about this whole because we're in the DNC era now, but the orange man, the felon part just kills me. It's like, they've railroaded him, and it's like, I wouldn't vote for a man who abuses women and blah, 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 but yet there's all this other stuff going on. We're going down in flames, and you're willing to I'm looking at the business end of it. I mean, to show me somebody who's not divorced or hasn't had issues in their life or whatever. And, and I don't have anybody to show you like that.
And that's the problem. People don't want to believe that the media could lie to them. And, I try to have the conversation by saying, Donald Trump aside, and I start asking them, like, what kind of future do you want for your children? What kind of, are you okay with this open border? Are you okay with, how the economy is right now? And they can answer those questions intelligently, and they can use common sense. But then when you bring Donald Trump back into the conversation, they lose it. And the problem is that they don't understand the propaganda that is fed to them every single day. And it's not just on the television, on the news, it's in newspapers, it's in magazines, it's in music, it's everywhere. And, so thinking about how big that is, once someone starts to understand it, it's like, whoa, wait, it's too much for them. So, getting that information in small doses is the best way to do it. You show them something where it's like, okay, here's what really happened. Here's what the media said. So I put out a video the other day where I was talking about this, when they were talking about Joe Biden's speech at the DNC, right? Joe Biden gave a speech where he does his normal bumbling, right? And you don't know what he's saying, and he's like yelling. But the next day, my daughter accidentally put on MSNBC on YouTube, and I was listening to it, and they're like, Joe Biden gave the greatest speech ever. It was his final swan song. And they're saying all of these wonderful things. But then there are people who just didn't watch it, and they just take what the media says as reality. And that's the problem. So if you can show them side by side, like, this is what happened and this is what the media said, then they start to say, wait a minute, why are they lying to me?
Defender girl, but come on. He brought up bloodbath, and because I watched the again, and about the suckers and liars about our military. It's been brought to people's attention a gazillion times, and they still choose to flat out lie to your face, and those people still flat out believe them. It's like it's mind blowing.
We're not going to save everyone. I mean, I would hope that at this point, people that are sitting on the fence have the ability and not the time to just take a minute and look at these things and go to people who have the time and ask them, people you trust. At this point, if you've lived through the last 3.5 years and you're not happy, then it's time to really take a look at what's important. Your life is important. Our future is important. This is why we have to look at these things, because it's everywhere. Politics is everywhere, whether you like it or not. Politics is a bad word for a lot of people, and they're like, I don't get involved in politics.
I hate it.
People that have said that to me is I don't get involved in politics. I'm like, okay, do you have a life?
Well, it's just the lies. To me, politicians, it's just all about just saying whatever you have to say and saying it so comfortably, and then not worrying about doing what you say. And I mean, and Kamala Harris, again, a month ago, she was the farthest from their choices, and now everybody loves her all of a sudden. And it's the influence is just, it's mind blowing. I don't get it.
Well, it's funny, the same people that say they don't like politicians don't like Donald Trump, who's the one that's not a politician.
Yeah, that's true.
But again, like I mentioned before, with the influencers that were brought into the DNC, and they paid for all expenses paid for you to tell them what we want you to tell them. You know, they are employing, they have 200 people on payroll just to influence via social media, plus the outside organizations that are funded that aren't a part of the Kamala campaign that are also funding these influencers. So this whole influence operation, like I said, isn't just the media, it is everywhere. So when you feel like, you know, it's all over the place and these people are, oh my God, we love Kamala, even though we hated her a month ago, it's not real. They're telling you what to think. And the people that are believing it at some point have to say, like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. And you just hope that they do.
I don't believe they're gonna. That brain. I never believed in the word brainwash, but again, anything for the party. Forget and believe hope. They're selling hope and joy right now, and they want a nice person who speaks very pretty and speaks nicely. It's like we live in a harsh world. We live in a world that people want to kill people and take over things, and you know, and I don't buy. It's like, yeah, it'd be great if we could live like that, but that's not reality. You know, we need a guy that's going to go in there and lay the law down for the sake of protecting us. And, you know, I know that I even think that, you know, and I call him the orange man just so I don't use the word too much in here. No, but because everybody gets it.
I call him the boss.
Okay. But the thing is, I want to make it for even the haters to be able to hear it. They know who I'm talking about. And I believe he has to answer to somebody too. But he drew the line and said, we're only going this far. You know,
put yourself in this man's shoes. I mean, again, I'm going to use their talking points. They don't like the fact that he's a rich guy. Okay, why would a rich guy put himself in this position, right, to be destroyed, attacked all over the place? Why? Okay, they say he's old, right? Okay, if he's old and rich, why would he want to do this? Yeah. Right? There's a country that really needs to be saved. The problem is that people, Democrats loved JFK. I would say people that are Republicans now are JFK Democrats, right? They loved JFK. Yeah. What happened to JFK and why? Think about that, right? He was the first person to expose the corruption within our government. And he said it out loud. Everyone knew it was there, but he was the first person to say it out loud. And what did they do? They assassinated him. And what do they do whenever people speak out when they're not supposed to? That's what happens. And they've been character assassinating Trump since 2015, right? And then now, and they used to love him. They used to love him when he was a celebrity. And the problem is, and what happened in July? They actually did try to assassinate him. And it's still not enough for people to say, hey, wait a minute. Why are they trying to do that to this guy? What is it that pisses them off about this guy?
Look, I'm in fear again that he can't even trust within, because to me, I'm sorry, it's deep state stuff. You know, they're in such fear that he's going to mess up everything they're trying to do to take this whole world down, country down. You know, and Alex Jones, I saw a little video, and it's like, I don't believe that attempt was the only attempt. I'm really in fear of him being poisoned. You know, because he's the only person that's going to stand up and stop this. You know, even with the MAGA support and this and that, and it's like, how can you weed through? Who do you trust? There's he's out there all the time, and I really you're going to have all these Democrats are going, good, we need him. Be ridden with him. I can't wait till he's gone. It's like, I don't care what they say, because we know that that things are going to be better, and they just have to wait it out and get used to it. But I'm scared.
I will say this. I mean, Donald Trump, the first time around, right? He was not, like I said, not a politician. He was getting his bearings about him, trying to understand government, trying to understand all of these things. There were people inserted to work around him. He didn't get really a choice as to who was around him. Yeah. This time around, he's got to do it right.
Oh, he's smarter now.
Pick the right people.
Oh,
and so I'm hoping that that's what happens moving forward, so that things can go the way he wants them to. I mean, we need them to.
I'm just in fear for his life, because they're good. They're so scared of him ruining everything. And he's around everybody. He's not afraid to go out there, and he knows. but he's really good secret keeper too. I think he's, he doesn't spill the beans. I love it, but you got to know, but it's still hard. He's shaking people's hands. He goes places, and I hope to God that that they can't. But it's just there's so many odds going against him to being able to do that. I mean, Russians, the Putin does that to spies and all that all the time.
Yeah.
It sucks. It really sucks. But again, I pray for
I pray for him daily.
Yeah.
I pray for our country daily.
Everybody,
I mean, that's what we have to do, is trust that the right thing will happen and do our part. We still have lots of things that we can be doing. These primary elections that have been happening, I've been watching how many people actually go out and vote. It's abysmal. It's not enough. Getting people to go out and vote, getting people to understand that, the corruption that we talk about starts locally. Like people need to get more involved in their local politics and understand where it begins.
Yeah. Look, I didn't catch on to things because I too was one of those people. My life wasn't too bad. And I didn't catch on until probably the last, third quarter of Obama. Because Obama is, and last night I would happen to be around. I got to catch him work his magic. He's a good talker. He's a smooth speaker. His cadence is really good, and he'll make you believe. He's a good talker. And I always knew that somebody was behind him, but I wasn't buying into the New World Order stuff, or I'm going, nobody. Why would you want to wreck your own country? And it finally kicked in, and I realized it. Especially after when Hillary was running, I know she's dirty. There's no doubt. You just look at her and you're dying around her, and so, so my mind changed. So again, within the, past 10 years or so, whatever it is. But the thing is, Obama was on last night talking again and building that, and his Big Mike was on there too, and but he's a good talker, so he builds them up and makes them believe even more. What are you going to do? I mean, that's what they do.
People want to be lied to, and again, people say, I don't want a politician lying to me. Yet here comes Obama. They give you what they think you need. Obama is one of the worst, most corrupt presidents we've ever had in our history. The amount of things this man did as president while he was, posing as this smooth, suave guy, that's why he was able to do the horrible things that he did. I actually posted 3 separate videos today that go through the timeline of some of the things that Obama did. And, I created those videos when I was learning about Obama, because when I saw one thing and then I saw another, I was like, oh my God, what else did he do? So, there's a ton. I could make 1,000 videos about this guy. It's just unbelievable. But that's the problem, is that because he was such a good looking, smooth talker, he got away with it.
That's you again. The word unbelievable is hard to believe, because he's smooth. And let me ask you something, because I try to ask a lot of people this because it's a little bit mind blowing to me. The Smith-Mundt Act that he repealed, back in 2012 or 13, whatever it was. I never knew there was such a law that made the media somewhat have to stay on key and not really become a propaganda machine like Iran or something like that. Yeah. Well, okay, I didn't know that. And this is why the media is running wild and can say whatever the hell they want to say. But my question to you is, if that was going on and then Trump keyed the word or made up the word fake news, why didn't he repeal this and put it back to the way it is, knowing how rancid it is and how sickening it is? Him of all people, what's stopping him? He had to be aware of it.
Does it matter? I mean, the problem is that the people that are in charge, that have power, they don't follow rules. I think we've seen that over the last few years. And the other thing is, think about who owns the networks, right? And I can go even deeper into this, but you look at someone like Paul Ryan, right? Like, you look at all the people look at Pence. Mike Pence was horrible. Mike Pence was put there to basically puppeteer Trump and stop him from doing anything effective. But people don't realize that, right? Like, so all of these Republicans that were around him were there, undermining everything he did. These are the people that run the media. These are the people that, so it wouldn't matter what he did because they're just not going to follow the rules, and they're not going to get in trouble for it.
There's tons of Republicans that got to go. You know, I'm not a big fan of either side. I guess I had him on my show also not too long ago. Tim Kramer. Kramer says,
yeah, he's awesome.
Oh, he's in your face. He like
Yeah,
says it, okay, and so I love him too. And he's the same thing. He's like, he's a conservative. He just is about the values of what is good in this world, and that's what he cares. I guess I have to say that's kind of what I am too. I don't care
what
about
do we even need labels? Will guarantee you put people from all different backgrounds, from different places together in one room, and eventually, and you ask them, put together a list of things that you really care about, you're really passionate about, you'll come up with the same list. At the end of the day, we all want the same stuff. We just want to be happy. We want to be able to afford things. We don't want to have to struggle. We want to be safe. We all want the same things. It's the media, the propaganda arm of the Democratic Party that keeps putting it out there, right? And it's the Uniparty that keeps putting those labels out there, and they keep making it seem like we're so different. We're not so different. Everyone wants the same stuff.
I just don't understand how right now in the situation and conditions that we're in, when people start telling me how the unemployment is at its lowest and the economy, the stock market is doing its best, and I've played videos to spell it out to people because they're looking at everything at the midst of the pandemic, and they don't compare things properly. But to buy into that, but I think you hit the nail on the head with that whole thing. Last night, when Obama was talking, they preached everything that you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Right now, they said we want a prosperous, for our families. We want good. They said everything that basically Trump says, or that the people really want. The only difference I feel is that they're never going to do that.
Right.
And that's so all these people are going, look, he says we're going to do this, we're going to do that, this is what we want. The problem is that they believe they're actually going to do it, and I don't believe that. I believe
sad, actually. It's really sad. I had a conversation today with someone at work, actually, but I usually don't have these conversations, but this person insisted on having this conversation. But he called me a maggot, and I was like, whoa, what? And these are people who claim to have civility. And he was saying, I can't believe you're a Trump person. You're from the Bronx like me. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? And then so I let him go on, and he got very emotional. He got very loud. And finally I said, okay, tell me, what has Joe Biden done? Because we were talking about the Black community. What has Joe Biden done for the Black community? And he couldn't tell me. And then I said, okay, let me tell you what Donald Trump's done for the Black community. And then it's like I said nothing, because as soon as he heard me say his name again, the alarms go off, and it's all he's hearing, and he's like, no, I don't want to hear it. And it's hard. It's sad that people are affected that way. And that's just not how it's supposed to be.
I think you could say the orange man cured cancer. Don't you remember? And they could go, yeah, but still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The hatred. This is what really kills me, is the hatred is so, they just personally can't stand him, and they're not willing to look at the business end of it. They don't have to live with the man. They just have to let him conduct business.
They loved him before he ran for president and before he exposed corruption. Everybody loved Donald Trump.
Well, and this is the beauty of it too, because there's video, even of everything, everybody contradicting themselves. Biden through the years saying one thing, says one thing, they show another. Kamala Harris says one thing right now, they're really going to pick everybody apart, Waltz, this and that. So you can't run from it. There's too much media. That's why they're not going to try to assassinate him again, because there's too much media. Too many people saw too much, and everybody has a phone.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm scared.
I don't put anything past them. I will tell you, I'm terrified at what they may try to do. They are so afraid of Trump and what he would do coming into office again, because he is going to continue to expose the corruption and get justice, that they will do anything to stop him. And I as an American with children, as a mother, like, I want to ensure that we get him back in office. So, this is the time to be vocal. This is the time to say enough is enough. Like, I'm not playing into this game, this show, this movie, whatever you guys are trying to do and continuing to lie to us. I'm living in this world that you guys created over the last 3.5 years. I'm not having it anymore. This is what people need to do.
There's no doubt, but I mean, everything. I mean, I really truly feel like, I do a lot of shows on the border and things like that, and homelessness. We could have solved homelessness. All the money that they're giving, it's obvious that we could have taken care of homelessness between Ukraine and all the money they're giving monthly to all these undocumented people, easily 5 times over. All of the above. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, I truly believe that the people who say that the border's fine, it's because it doesn't affect them personally. And when it starts affecting your life, then you start really paying attention, unfortunately. But this is the world we live in. I want to play one of your videos. It's about, the way we trust the internet and all this kind of stuff. This is a little video that you put together about, searching for things and trying to find information, whether it be how to spell something or how to find out, who's full of shit and who's for real. So sit tight real quick. This is one of yours truly, Defender of the Republic's, putting together some common sensibility. Here you go.
What is one of the most dangerous phrases of our time that every single one of us has used? Google it. No, really, that's the phrase. Google it. If you're old enough to remember life before Google, you can recall a time where free thinking allowed us to have differing ideas and opinions that were not created for us like they are now. If you understand how Google works, you'll understand why this phrase is so dangerous. Most Americans utilize Google as their default search engine, and it's the world's most visited website and currently holds 92% of search engine market share. You probably also use Google Maps, Gmail, YouTube, Google Docs, Chrome, Google Home, Google News, and your kids probably don't even have textbooks anymore because they use Chromebooks, also a Google product. Did you know that Google also owns Android, Nest, Waze, and Fitbit, among many others? At what point is it too much? Are we allowing Google to control the narrative of what we perceive as reality? Google has full control of what articles or data first appears when you utilize their search feature. If Google doesn't want you to see something, that's their choice. But should it be? If you own a business and you want visibility to the world, you need to ensure that you use Google Business, your Google reviews are good, and you use the right Google recommended keywords. And if you really want to stand out, you have to pay Google to put you at the top of the search results. We learned in August of 2019 via a leak of 950 pages of documents from a senior Google engineer that Google had a blacklist of terms they used to censor conservative websites prior to the 2020 election. Why haven't you seen this leak? Because you can't Google it. Last week, a Fifth Circuit court upheld a law in Texas that prohibits big tech platforms from moderating content based on basis of viewpoint. The overall basis of big tech's argument is that HB 20 violates their First Amendment constitutional rights to decide what content they do and do not allow on their platforms based on what they see fit. The court's decision reads, "Today we reject the idea that corporations have a freewheeling First Amendment right to censor what people say." Do you see the issue here? Are the First Amendment rights of big tech more important than the rights of the people? Are these big tech companies private companies? Or is the influence they have on everything in our society, along with government involvement in their platforms, a major concern when it comes to the constitutional rights of the people? Of course, industry groups NetChoice and CCIA are continuing to appeal and push back. You can imagine they won't go down without a fight. Now consider the world you know and the world you don't. How much control does Google have on what you believe, what you do, and what you feel? I think it's safe to say that our world, as we know it, has become written for us. As you go about your day, think about how many times you say, Google it, or how many times you take the action of Googling it. What's the alternative? How will you go about finding the information they've blacklisted from you? Thanks for listening, and Godspeed.
I mean, well, look, we've come to trust, you depend on Google. I mean, Google or whatever, there was all these different browsers and search engines, and Google ended up being a big one. And now it's just as corrupt as anything else. I mean, it leads you where it wants to lead you and doesn't lead you where it doesn't want to lead you, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's very difficult to detoxify from Google, by the way.
I
After
get
making
it.
that video, I really, really tried to do it as much as possible.
I told you that earlier today when we were doing the pre-show stuff, that I don't pay to play on this. And because I don't believe in it, but it hurts me because they throttle me down. And a friend of mine said, the minute you do a little bit of advertising through Google, you see how much they'll start showing you love right away. And it's like, yeah, well, I'm just one of those kind of guys. My knees don't have calluses on them, and it's been like that for years, so I might as well keep it that way. But hey, look, somebody's saying hi to you again. It's Big Pete, and Big Pete. Yeah, I know you don't know Big Mike, but
Thank goodness.
no, completely. That's right.
Like these big corporations, not just Google. I mean, people don't realize how many big corporations affect their livelihood around them, whether they like it or not. Like if you look at these campaigns, look at Big Pharma. I say this because I live in New Jersey. Like all of our politics, everything around me in New Jersey is written by Big Pharma because there's so many of those companies around here, but it happens all over the country. Where I started when I wanted to know more about this was I looked at the campaigns and who donated to what campaign, what corporations were they, look at the lobbyists. They really control policy. They really control the candidates, and so that's the problem. And that's why, I support someone like Donald Trump because he's exposed all of it. We weren't looking into this before him.
People don't get it. They're not everybody. Again, I think it's a way smaller crowd, but they are so loud. They've learned how to be that they make everybody feel like it's a majority, and it really isn't. Again, we talked about a lot of things, and I said that I get emails constantly of people saying, "Peter, I'm right there with you," because I'm not a total political show. I talk about everything pertaining to life. But we are in these times, and this is this year, and I'm losing people because they don't like what I'm doing right now. But I feel it's my duty to speak out, or shame on me to perhaps enlighten somebody. And whether you agree or disagree is up for you to decide. But staying silent isn't where it's at.
I love people like you who have the courage to do it because it's important. And if you don't have the courage to speak up when we're in a battle, like Joe Biden says, we're in a battle for the soul of the nation. Well, he's not wrong there because we really are. This has become a battle between good and evil, and it really is that. You think about what is happening right now. And like I said before, with children going missing, the federal government is the largest child trafficker in the world right now. And it's very painful to hear. And people won't look into it because they don't want to believe it. But it is absolutely true.
Because it sounds almost ludicrous. It's like, how could that be? And who would think of such a thing, and why?
Yeah.
But it does exist, unfortunately. And again, and we allow it. And I think even as busy as the Orange Man will be coming back into office, he's the kind of guy that I think will not sleep, because he knows his ego is just that big to say, I'm going to do what I said, and I'm going to knock. And these people are scared shitless that he's going to ruin their game.
Well, if you look at our military, right? Like, actually, this piece of news came out today that Donald Trump said he's going to reinstate all of the service members who were removed for not getting
right
on YouTube, the thing, But that's one of the big things that I supported, on January 1st this year, over 200 service members, both in the military and out or who were removed, signed the Declaration of Military Accountability to talk about this and call out the leadership that did this to them. And there are some horrific stories about what happened to them when they didn't, and they said no about getting these things. And so the fact that Donald Trump is going to reinstate them is huge, but I guarantee you the media is not going to talk about it. You're not going to hear it on CNN tomorrow. So that's That's something people have to remember.
After all this time, are they going to even want to come back? I mean, how many years has it been now? And it's a shame. But now
Think about it, they've spent years, and this was their career, and they've got pensions. There's people who were just about to get out, right before.
Yeah. They should be eligible for all that stuff. But the thing is, we have Admiral Levine now, and the guy that they just fired for stealing, women's clothing from airports that was in charge of nuclear waste,
so
and Mayor Pete. And these people seriously think that even Kamala, it's like, you seriously think that she is going to be good in policy for foreign affairs? And she, all we know is that she knows that there's, your information is in a cloud in the sky,
about the Venn diagrams.
Yeah. she's not kidding. That's who she is.
Yeah.
But then again, they're going to tell her what to say and what to do, and that's what they want. But we can't have this.
But even still, she just declined a debate with Donald Trump on Fox because it's not their place, right? They don't want to do Fox.
He should go wherever the hell she wants to go, because
he agreed. He agreed to every term she wanted. But when he said, "Okay, let's do it on Fox too," nope, not going to do it.
I again, because look, and then because again, Facebook, I read Facebook daily, and these people that are pro, left, and it's like, she's going to wipe him up all over the floor, and I'm going, I don't know what kind of crack you're smoking, but you need to stop. Put down the pipe, because she can't.
They have these small clips of her during the debates. The only thing that they use is when she tells people, hold on, I'm speaking. But to them, they think that's super cool. Like, yeah, she stood up for herself. Okay, but what was the substance of what she was talking about? Because when she ran against Joe Biden, I'm pretty sure she got less than 1%.
Didn't get any.
She was the first one out.
Yeah, she was the first one out. But the thing is, I'm sure she could be a bitch, easily. She could show her.
Qualification for president. That's not. I just want my president to be a bitch. That's not.
Yeah. No, I believe anybody, and there's lots of people that are on voting on the content of we want to see the first woman president. That is the most ridiculous reason to, these are the ones who are oblivious. They just have no clue. And especially if the first black woman is like, who cares? If you're not qualified, your children, your grandchildren, we're doomed. There's people who want this country, and they got their
I would be offended as a woman if she became all of the great women out there, and that's the one you chose to be the president. You're saying there's nothing better.
All of the great women out there.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. Oh boy, but again, it's mind blowing. But they look at you like, no, you're crazy, and there's where the division. I don't think we'll ever. I can't. I don't know. I just can't see it because the hatred is so bad. I don't know when they'll ever. If they didn't realize that we were doing better prior to this last administration, okay, the pandemic knocked out everything. But if they can't figure that out, I don't know if there's much hope for people for them.
That's the thing, is that they know. It's a phenomenon I like to call wrong and strong. They know they're wrong, but it's more painful to continue to be wrong and be strong about being wrong than to admit you were wrong. And that's what they're really doing. They know they're wrong. They feel like they'd look stupid turning back.
I just feel like that they're trying to sell happiness, and these people want this whole joyous, the new word, every time there's a new key
joy.
Phrase, joy.
I enjoyed being weird.
Yeah, and weird was last week, 2 weeks ago. Now it's joy, and you got people like, oh my God, I just, and I found out he's from where I'm from in Pensacola. He's a little bitch. He's on MSNBC. The Morning Joe.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Morning Joe. Where is that son of a bitch? Hang on a second. and he can lie through his teeth. And how you go to bed at night, and it's like, this guy just needs a good punch in the head. I mean, respectfully, a good punch in the head. And his brother too. This dude. They. But this is where it's all come to. It's like, and if you watch them and you like them, you telling me everything about you. And again, even Fox News, I take Fox News with a grain of salt. They're better
No,
than
Fox
some.
News is not any
Yeah,
better.
but there's certain things that they refuse to say. Like, they still go with the narrative, like, like the shooter was that kid. I'm sorry, I was born early in the morning, but not yesterday morning. That kid did not take it upon himself to do what he was doing. But even Fox News, they will not veer and say this is deep state stuff. This is the within, because they're all owned by the same people.
Yeah, they need to go to people that with integrity on those and that are experts in those topics. So there, I don't know if you guys follow the Dan Bongino show.
I love Dan Bongino.
Yeah. So he works Secret Service. He knows, right? And so he's been putting out a lot of great information. So that's my go-to for anything on the assassination.
Wow. I'm just one small example of the stupidity. And again, I don't blame people for not really understanding that the media is corrupt, because you grew up learning to trust them. So they're having a hard time going, they would not lie to us. But I got people that I know and love, and lots of them that are totally, I know they're watching me and going, friggin' Peter, man, I don't want to disown him, but but man, I don't know what the hell's wrong with him.
Yeah.
I know what's wrong with me. I woke up, so to speak. I figured it out. But if you're not there yet, you're not there yet. And that's the problem. And I don't know how to make there, because even though we're friends, they won't. They're not listening. They'll listen to the the little short clips, but it doesn't explain the whole show to get where we came from, where we are, and where it ended up going.
Again, I mean, not to get religious, but I just pray for those people, because I know at some point I was one of those people, right? You were one of those people.
I was. I admit it.
Yeah. So one day something got you where you were just like, what is happening? You look back at your life, where was I? And then you want to know more, right? So I pray that one day that'll happen for them too, and they'll come to you and they'll say, hey, remember that crazy stuff you were talking about? Tell me more about that.
I had a few close friends that knew that they were talking like I'd be visiting someplace for the summer, and we're sitting like on my buddy's boat, and we're having a few beers, and he's like talking about Obama, and I'm looking, and he looked at me, he could see the look on my face that I wasn't against Obama, and he goes, oh, you kind of like him, don't you? I go, well, I don't know. I go, I can't seem to find anything wrong with him. And he let it go. He didn't start preaching, but that's how it all started, and then another little incident here and there. And then before long, you start open, just look around the corner, just look over there instead of, worrying about how wonderful everything. And then it finally started coming together. And my father, my 90-year-old father, whatever, and I mean, he's passed away since, but he was around when Trump first got elected, and he was a Democrat to the core. He's old school, and he was voting for Hillary, and I was here, and when she lost, it was 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and he was asleep on the chair. And I go, your girl lost. I think I told you this the last time too. And his mouth hung open. And I go, she's dirty. She's dirty. I go, screw the Democrat and this and that. But a year later, I heard him saying to somebody, he says, you don't understand. Trump is going to be good for this country.
Wow.
And I'm going, where did that come from? Yeah. And I wish he was alive today to see what the hell is going on. He probably does see what's going on, but the thing is, so I could talk to him, to like, look at this shit. It's like the Democrats are off the hook. They're just lost their minds.
Yeah.
And so even a 90-year-old man saw through it and go, things just change,
Good place to start is Russiagate, right? Like, I mean, I got to tell you, I still know people who still believe the Russiagate story. Even though it's been disproven a million times over, they still believe it.
Because
and that's the problem.
They listen to the headline. That's all they get fed, and that's it. Headline readers, because life is fast, life is busy. You can tell somebody, and you could put it right under their chin here, and it's too much work because they want to go do this instead of that. And it's like, look, you're nuts. You're just forcing stuff down my throat, and I don't believe you, and tough shit. But it is what it is. I want to read you something because Jesse Waters, he's been getting really bold. I kind of like him because he's kind of cocky, and I still love Gutfeld more, but I will be on that show one day. You mark my words. If there's a bucket list, that's the one, because I love making fun of people.
Yeah.
I mean,
You'd be great on that show.
well, good. I hope he hears us. He said about Kamala, and again, this is his quote or whoever wrote it for him or whatever. But I thought it was priceless because it was like she's great because she's the Democratic nominee. She's not the Democratic nominee because she's great. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
All of a sudden, from 1 week she was nothing, and now because she's wonderful, even though she was nothing for all these years.
Yeah.
And and it's not because she was great. They just go, this is who we need to believe in right now. It's all about winning. Nothing else matters.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
we're going to drive it into the ground. And everything we say is nothing to believe there, but we need you to believe it right now because we need to win. It doesn't matter.
So dishonest, though. I mean, again, like if I were still a Democrat voter and I voted for Joe Biden in the primary, and they kept saying, "Oh, he's fine, he's great, he's gonna run," and then they did the bait and switch on me, I'd be pissed off. And that's anything, right? Like take the names out. People just need to start thinking common sense. Like you should be annoyed or upset that they did that. That's the opposite of democracy.
It's we're in a big mess, and there's wars going on, and this and again, Trump's like, I'm going to straighten this shit out, within days. And I believe he can because he knows all the secrets. He knows how to stop this stuff because it's all, shisty stuff. But man, oh man. And again, the warmongers don't want that. They're making more money than they ever had at the expense of these Ukrainians' lives and all that. It's just sinful. And now we got, Israel and Hamas and all this crap. It's like, I don't know, but yet support the people. The people think they're doing the right thing by supporting, Ukraine and all that. And it's like while Zelensky's buying Bugattis for his wife.
So crazy.
Yeah,
it's so crazy. You think about there are actually TikTok videos out there of people in Ukraine where it's like totally fine, and that they're like making all this money, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy for people not to look deeper into these things, and people don't even understand how much $100 billion is. I don't think anyone's really ever had $100 billion to spend, but if you think about how much that is and what we could be doing with that kind of money, you start to question like, why Ukraine and not America? And that's what I look at congressmen and what they're voting for and who they're supporting, and as soon as they support Ukraine, you're like, okay, but that means you don't support America then, because why aren't we getting that?
No, they look, the media played on the American people's heartstrings. Poor Ukraine being attacked by mean old Putin again. The whole thing, and that should have never even started, and it should have been resolved. There was peace treaties that they ignored. And so the thing is, so it's like, and then they're playing on the people's heartstrings because the people are caught in the middle of all this. Meanwhile, the money's coming in and all the, they're all getting passed around to all the hierarchies. They're making a killing off of this. And meanwhile, they're having to kidnap men to put them in the Ukrainian military because they're running out of people to get killed.
Well, there was just a report, not even a report. So Congress just put out a memo about all of the corruption they discovered that Joe Biden was involved in with all of the business crimes.
Yeah.
We've had that information publicly available for 2.5 years in the Biden laptop report.
Yeah.
BidenLaptopMatters.com. It's been out for over 2.5 years. And so it's like, again, people don't realize that all of the information is readily available for them. You just got to stop looking at Google. You got to stop going to the media for your real news. And that's why I say Twitter, I think, is a good public space to start at, because we are not censored there. We can put out that information and share that with people.
It's too much work. Okay, people have become so, a few seconds catching a headline, reading a paragraph, maybe.
But that's why the Defender of the Republic was born. That's
right.
Literally what I was doing. I was taking loads of information that was too much for people and making it easy for them to digest.
We're gonna tell everybody how to find you too. But the thing is, Tell me something. Did they have to put a wall around the Republican convention?
I wasn't there, but I don't think they did.
I heard nothing about having to have a wall around. So there's a wall around the Democratic National Convention to protect the Democratic National Convention because they got protesters going on.
Work now?
Yeah.
And IDs because they were IDing people.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And businesses were boarding up and closing down their stores. They're losing money in fear of all the radical, crime that's going to be happening and just burning everything up and just wrecking everything. And that's just
the party of hypocrisy. That's what it's not the everyday Americans party anymore. It's a circus. It's become a circus.
Well, let's talk about the Republican convention right now, because I just happened. This is like only a few hours before we did the show today. I just stumbled upon somebody who put a video out, and he took a Venezuelan immigrant.
The DNC.
Yeah, did you see it already?
Yes, I did. Actually.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to see it again.
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
Yeah, but this guy took a young guy who's a illegal immigrant from Venezuela and wanted to bring him in to meet his people into the Democratic National Convention because these are the people who have allowed our open borders and all this kind of stuff, and he couldn't get in. So check this out.
Steve Cortez here on the west side of Chicago, Democratic National Convention at United Center. The Democrats, of course, want open borders and want an endless stream of illegal migrants pouring into the United States. This is my new acquaintance, Edwin. Say hello.
My name is Edwin. Nice to meet you.
Edwin is from Venezuela. And we're going to take Edwin into the DNC so that he can meet the Democrats who want open borders. He should meet his new friends, hear the speakers, and learn about the Democratic Party. So, Edwin, let's head in, shall we? Right. This is Edwin from Venezuela, migrant, invited in by the Democratic Party. He'd like to come into the Democratic Convention.
You have to get your credentials. Yep, you have to go to Jackson.
Yep. Wait, you mean he needs credentials and permission to come in?
Yes.
To get past the wall?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a border wall in a way, huh?
Yeah. You have to have ID, credentials. You can come in.
To come to the United States?
No.
Not to come to the United States. Okay, but to come to the Democratic Convention.
Here,
Okay. You believe in security. You believe in securing a boundary. Edwin can't come in.
Without credentials.
That's all I know. I commend you on guarding this border. You're doing it very effectively, folks. Good morning. Hi there. We would like to get some credentials for Edwin. Come on, Edwin. Edwin is from Venezuela?
I am, right.
So we tried to get Edwin into the convention. He's a migrant from Venezuela. No organization, just American. And he's a migrant from Venezuela. Wanted to get into the convention. We figured that they would love to have a migrant from Venezuela come in. They said we need to get credentials, so we're here to get the credentials.
Okay. Has anyone filled out an application for him?
So you have to. There's a process in the application. He didn't have that at the border.
Okay. I have my own personal beliefs on this, but right now I'm serving custody. So I've asked him to turn the camera off.
Just to be clear, we have been ejected from the DNC credentialing office because we're not permitted to be here. We don't have permission. We didn't go through the application process. It seems like the United States would use similar rules about crossing the U.S. border. DNC doesn't believe in that, but they do believe in it for their own convention. This is Edwin. He's from Venezuela. He's a migrant. Democratic Party wants an endless stream of migrants into America, so I'd like him to go and meet his political friends, listen to the speeches, and come in the Democratic Convention. While you're laughing, he's allowed to come to the United States without identification or permission. Can he come into the DNC?
I don't think the Secret Service is going to go for it, no.
They're not going to go for it? Well, they went for it at the border.
Well, maybe he can get credentials.
How can we help you, sir? We'd like to get Edwin in. The Democratic Party invited him into America from Venezuela. We'd like to get Edwin in to meet his Democratic friends. Do you need credentials to go in the United States? We're done. Do you need credentials to go in the United States? So we do need credentials here to get past this heavily armed barrier. Well, Edwin, Kamala Harris has an open border. You're allowed in America. You're not allowed into her party. Oh, well, Edwin, we tried. 2 gates, credentials, 0 for 3. That's a strikeout in baseball, see? Today's strikes. We're out.
Podría haber una diferencia.
Same in Caracas, same in Venezuela.
Yeah.
No bueno.
Again, hypocrites. It reminds me of the time they brought the illegals into Martha's Vineyard, and they were like, "Get them out of here."
Exactly. I just after watching, and again tonight, I'm not getting a lot of my lefties watching me to cuss me out, because they're probably all watching the Democratic convention right now, so they can hear Bill Clinton, who is a saint, and
Put cigars away from them.
The one thing I realized, because this morning when I woke up and I'm reading some things from my lefty friends that I still love, regardless, they're entitled to their opinion. They go, the DNC doesn't need wrestlers we have real, we don't need wrestlers to come on and promote this and that. The one thing I noticed that they did have, the Republican National Convention, they had real life people from the streets come in and talk reality. And I don't think the Democratic convention has anybody that's not a celebrity of some status, because I don't think anybody's got a real story to tell that's that great.
Yeah. But that's unless they're paid for. But that's the reason they had to pay for people to be there. Look at Kamala's rallies that were a concert, or people that were, brought in by special invitation. Like, they're manufacturing support. If you've got to manufacture support, it's a problem. And that's the issue, that people don't see that. And this woman is just not America's sweetheart, as they want you to believe.
You can't tell them that. It's like, I love when they go, look at all the people that showed up for her. Don't tell us about some stupid Trump rally, which is, again.
One day they're going to realize they're not the majority.
You can only hope, and I'm not going to be the one. I don't want to say ha ha,
Never do that to them. No.
Yeah, let's see here. So what this guy's saying? Where is Walter Cronkite? Walter Cronkite's sleeping, like forever. I just want to go through a few of these cut things. Hey, what I want to ask you is poor Edwin. Poor Edwin. Who's this? Poor Edwin. He says no. He got turned away. From his Democratic people. Listen, is there anything that, like, in all the things you do, is there any little topic of anything that you really, now that I got you here, because we're running out of time, that you really want to make a point of bringing out to people of anything?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many.
There's so many. Yeah, there's so many. But I mean, I'm now part of Latinos for Trump / Latinos for America First, right? So, that's an organization that I want people to follow. But like I mentioned before, I think getting involved locally is where it starts. When I saw, these elections that were happening, there are people who don't even know who's running. There are people who can't vote in certain states, if you don't select whether you want to vote Democrat or Republican and you just choose independent, the rules are that you cannot vote in a primary. So, a lot of people missed out their opportunity to have their voices heard. The voting is important. I mean, a lot of people have said, "Oh, they're just going to steal it anyway, so why should I vote?" Never think like that. People have died for us to have the right to vote. People have always fought for the right to vote. So, you have to utilize your ability to do that. It should be an honor to go out and vote. So, check your voter registrations, make sure that you have the ability to vote. The independent thing in New Jersey, I actually looked up the stat yesterday. 1/3 of our registered voters are independent in New Jersey, because people don't want other people to know what party they're voting for. That is not going to do anything. Like, we need to stop being afraid. We need to, be proud of the fact that we want to contribute to society and help make this country better and help make it great again.
Good boy.
Yeah. So, I think for it starts locally. Always get involved where you can, because this is our last shot. I mean, things are potentially going to get a lot worse, and we have to work together to make it better.
Wow. I worry for my child, and she's got her head on straight too. I didn't influence her at all. She just kind of figured it out, which is probably way smarter than me.
Guarantee you influenced more than you think you did.
Yeah, but well, maybe so, but you know, either way, we're in weird times, very strange times, and again, the brainwashing. I never believed in brainwashing. I say this a lot, but it exists. Because I don't think, like, you know, when you see these shows where they hypnotize people on stage and, you know, be a chicken. I don't think you could ever hypnotize me. I'm just not one of those type of people.
Yeah.
But I do believe there are those type of people now, because look what's happening on a daily basis. I mean, there's people that are truly, they've drank the Kool-Aid. It's one thing to be like, well, you know what? Okay, it was a short-term thing. I believed him. I mean, we all make mistakes, but this is an ongoing, long-term that, you know, what was it? The MK, MK Ultra. Yeah, it's like, holy crap.
It's real.
You know, I've done acid, but the thing was, I was never that guy, you know.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm doing it right now, but I'm fine, you know, and so it just blows my mind. But I don't know. It's real, folks. It exists, and we're living amongst
lots of evidence out there too. Tons of it.
All of the above, and everybody I see, like, you know, the people that believe, they want to huddle around people that think just like them. I don't. I still, you know, like everybody. I mean, I like way more people than I dislike people. You know, to me, I don't care what color you are, what race you are, whatever. You're either good or you're bad. It's that simple. And so I give everybody a fair choice until you cross me, and then I just cross you off. But very few do I have to do that. I've been very lucky in my life and blessed, I guess you can say, because I believe in people. I love people. I mean, it's because of the people is why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And, go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's just growing up as a musician, my whole life has been about people. Because if it wasn't for people coming to see me play, there'd be no band, there'd be no tours, there'd be no recordings. There would have been nothing like that, because it makes people happy. And I just kind of shifted gears. And right now it's all about, like, I just feel like if I don't say something, then shame on me. Then I don't deserve anything that I get. You know, and that's just the way it is.
And
but
supporting people that do it, right? So I'm very big on supporting people that are doing and saying the right things and boosting them out as much as possible. Like I remember I've reached out to you, like, what can I put out for you? And it's important to do that. And again, I will say everybody should subscribe to you on every platform that you're on: Truth Social, Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, all of it, Facebook. Because it's important. It's important to help each other, because that's the only way we're going to elevate each other's messages organically, because we don't have the media backing. We don't have dark money funding us. And I will also tell your audience, if they want to see me, I will be in Key West next week. And I'll post more about it on my Twitter page for the Flynn movie tour watch party. That's going to be awesome. And if you haven't seen the movie, flynnmovie.com, you will see the story of what happened to General Flynn and his family. And it's a story that it's a very similar story to what's happening to Donald Trump and what could happen to any of us. So I, would tell people to go check it out, flynnmovie.com.
I was getting ready to tell you, I wanted you to tell everybody where they can find you. I mean, where do you hang out the most? What's your most predominant that you're focusing on? Because I know we talked about TikTok, and there's like 35 versions of Defender of the Republic, and none of them are you.
None of them are me. It's so crazy. They literally took my Defender of the Republic down 4 times, and they left the 30 other ones up there that are all not me. It's unbelievable.
Imitation. And there's some high, like, there's some of them that are like in the 20,000, follower range, and
there's
none of them are you.
Has like almost 90,000 followers.
Wow. Okay, so where can people find you if they want to see more of what you do? Where are you hanging out at now?
So I'm on Truth Social at Defender of the Republic 22. Also on Telegram, I'm on there I have an admin, Rev, who's incredible. He and I post news on there all day long. So that's a great place to follow me. But I spend most of my time on X, because I'm telling you, that is the public square. That is a great place to get news. Everyone needs to be there. You can find me there at Real Defender 45. Real
Defender 45 on X.
Yeah.
X freaks me out a little bit. Maybe I'm missing something, because I see the feeds, but I don't understand. I just something is missing with me because I have to take care of so many things. But I think I'm still missing a key to that puzzle on X. I don't know what it is, but I guess again.
No, I mean, I didn't really start using X much until a couple of months ago, to be honest, like maybe a year. And the more you use it, the more you understand how to get the most out of it.
Sure.
But I'm telling you, a lot of breaking news happens there. The things that the media censoring happens there. And there's something for everyone on X.
Well, again, we post there. I only post short clips, which is about 10 clips per week for every show. Yeah. But again, to catch all the live shows. But if we want to find you, that's where you like hanging out at. And I also, if they Google Defender of the Republic, you're still going to show up. I mean, because you do, because I did it. I always check to see what's going on. So, as partial as they are, there's some things you haven't obviously pissed them off too much because
I'm not doing enough.
Well, I know. I get. Hey, look, I definitely caught a lot of people's attention on getting banned and this and that. I want to, Scott Lebedo, right?
I do. Yeah.
I really want him on my show.
Yes.
I need you to pull a solid for me because I love his rawness. I want his in your face, tell it like it is. I've been after him for like 3 years, not stalking him as much as I stalked you, but
But I would say he's been busy with The Relentless Patriot. He's got a great movie out. Like, speaking of movies, these are the three you got to watch: Flynn movie, Relentless Patriot with Scott Lebedo, and Government Gangsters. Like, those three movies are incredible. But he's been busy with that, putting that out, getting really involved before November. But I will reach out to Scott. Scott, I'm calling you to get you on the show.
Help hook a brother up. It's like, only if I didn't love what he does, I wouldn't matter. Like, I'm just going, I just need a guest. But I truly love the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, come on, it's like, at least there's love there, and I'm not doing it just because I got to fill a slot, But I talked to the director of the Relentless Patriot, and they were promoting the show. But again, it's like if you're not in with the clique, certain people, it's just kind of like, okay, we'll put you down for whatever. I'm sure all intentions are good, but this is getting ridiculous because I've been
going to events.
I get it.
He's very personable. I guarantee you, if you saw him at an event, he would have a long conversation with you.
I'm sure he would, because I would make sure that I got in front of him because I love the guy, But I love and admire. I watch him all the time. I comment on his posts, but he's gotten very popular. He's a really talented, artist and things like that. But I just love his rawness because that's like, perfect. Put him on my show because sometimes it's the only way to hit people, to like wake them up.
Yeah.
But I'm on the West Coast, and it's not like I just say, let me just jump on the car and go away, and I got responsibilities over here, and I wish I had that luxury of just like, okay, tell James to fire up the jet. Because again, there's I want him, but my ultimate goal is the Gutfeld show. That is, I will not rest because I want to make fun of. I will not.
That'll happen for you. You are one of the most persistent, relentless people I've ever met.
Relentless. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Ambitious.
Well, the thing is, I know what I'm capable of, and I know what I'm not capable of, and I like funny. You give me the opportunity to do some funny, I'm in, and I won't let you down. I'll sit there and and I like feeding off of people. And Gutfeld, it's a nice, relaxed atmosphere where they even kick themselves in the nuts. You know what I mean? And I'm all for that because I can do that. I've been doing it my whole life. Anyway, all right. Look, needless to say, how much I love you. Okay, and for taking the time, and like it wasn't even a second. It's like, hey, why don't you come on my show? Sure, because we're at that point now. And thank you for letting me tell the story on our relationship.
Yes. Thank you again for being my first.
That's what I'm saying. It's there's always a place that's a special place that I put on the shelf that so it always will have that special place. And as we're both growing and going into different directions, it's really interesting, I think, to see how things are going. Like I said, you've really started getting involved, and I don't have enough of me to go around to keep from one thing to another. I'm just trying to enlighten people on life in general, and I'll host whatever it takes to do something of worth and hopefully laugh a little bit too.
Yeah.
But for right now, this is what we do, and this is how we do it, and it is what it is. But I am grateful. So thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, look, one last look at Defender of the Republic right here. My Defender girl.
I love that nickname.
Heidi Passy. And again, find her on Real Defender 45, right?
That's right, on X. Correct.
On X, of course. And I didn't make a banner. I'm gonna regret this. Yeah, no, it's all right. Hey, look, you got to believe me. They're following you. This not so much, but they're following you.
You're
all
not
right,
so bad yourself, Pete.
Yeah. All right. So wave to everybody. I love you. I love you. I love you. I'll talk to you down the road. And again, we'll the show lives on, and I'm looking forward to the short clips too throughout the week. So let's do it. All right. Thank you.
Peter.
All right. I'll see you later. Uno momento. Oh, secret sauce. Huh? The girl's got it going on. You watch her videos, she does not disappoint. If you want to learn something, or at least you're willing to understand, or she'll help you to understand it in layman terms. I know who's got time for that. You want to do stupid stuff and go have some beers, but she's worth it. And just go follow her. And that way you start taking in the videos a little bit at a time. Life, nobody forces you to do anything, just like this show. That's why I'm so grateful. Nobody forces you to watch the show. It's a choice you're making, and that's why I love so many people, and I do mean the word love, because I know what it takes, dedication. I don't have time to watch people that I'm very close to see a lot of their stuff, listen to their music and this and that, because there's only so many hours in the day. But I'm truly grateful, and I'm grateful to Defender of the Republic, Miss Heidi Pass, my Defender girl, for being on this show. So follow her. Just Google her name. She's all over the place. You can find her. I want to remind you, where am I? Next week, I have the lovely and talented celebrity psychic Miss Tony Green's going to be on this show. That's right, folks. I promise you for some entertainment, because I love ruffling her feathers. We're going to talk, I don't know, she does a lot of people. She has her own show. She does twice a week on YouTube, and she has her own business of psychic. She has a psychic ability. She's an empath. I'm pretty sure. She'll correct me if I'm wrong, but she talks about all kinds of stuff. And a lot of people want to hear about their relationships, and are they going to be with Johnny, or does Susie really love me? But everyone, so I watch her because she's done it to me too. And out of the blue, she'll kick something in and go, I don't know why. She's got this weird relatability, to songs. She hears a song in her head that has to do with something. It's kind of, sometimes I think it's like, I don't know what to get out of this, but I love her to death. She's got something to offer, and we're going to put her on the show. I haven't spoken to her in quite a while, and maybe we'll even take a few calls and see where your life is going, or talk about current events too, because she's very involved in current events too. She's not afraid to speak her mind, which is a good thing. And she's going to be on the show Wednesday, August 28th. Celebrity psychic Tony Green going to be on this little old show right here to enlighten us with what she has to offer from her gift from within. And we'll be answering some questions, and I'll be throwing tons of questions out to her, and we'll see where we're going to go from there. But that's it. I want to thank everybody. Please, please, please. I struggle. No lie. No joke. No joke. I struggle. You got to look at this as opposed to Defender of the Republic, and YouTube throttles me down. But hit the subscribe button. We're going to shove it right back up their ass. Say, there, take that, in a nice way, because I love everybody. But anyway, I'm fighting the good fight. The algorithms are against me because I say things that maybe I shouldn't say. But I say them because they're things that I really should say that they just don't want you to say. You know what I'm saying? I love you. All right, we're going to get out of here. Did I forget anything? I always do. I go, damn, I wish I could have. Remember, while this national convention and everybody's holding hands and singing Kumbaya, wanting, for peace, and they're talking a good game, but unless you're willing to come on this show and tell me how they plan on doing it, I just don't believe any of it, and I'm sorry, because history tells it all. They've been in office for 3.5 years now. Same administration. Nothing's gotten done. So I'm sorry. But I believe we can, if we stick together, we'll be fine. All right. I love you guys. My name is Peter G. You're watching Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. God willing. So far, so good. All right. I'll see you guys. When will I see you guys? See you guys next week. That's when I'll see you. Check out all the short clips coming up during the week. And don't forget, subscribe, follow, whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. Life is good. Be grateful. Be thankful. Be kind. You don't have to be an ass, but you don't have to take a bunch of crap from people, too. Life is too short. Enjoy. I love you. Peace out.
Peter G Show. Peter G Show. Divorce Dad. Single